Welcome to the Skill Tracker. As the name implies, it's an app for tracking your skills throughout the progress of this course. And while you can access all the materials directly from the page without being logged in or anything, you will get much more benefit from the tracking tool by signing up and logging in. So let's do that. Sign up with your name. I suggest using your actual name that you want to be known as on the page, and then your email address, an email address that works, because if you forget your password, you will get an email where you can reset it. And then choose your password. Don't use your regular email password, but make it a different one. And then you sign up. And once you have signed up, you will get a link to this video that you're currently watching. So that's kind of neat, right? And once you're done, you can click this tiny button here. I have watched this video, but only when you finish watching, click I watched it. And now you're in. And you see, something happened up here. And that is because every single activity in the course is one of these. And every time you complete one, it gets marked as green and open up the path for the next one. You can still access any of them. You can just click on them and see the video. But this helps you find the suggested path. So what you should do now is either something what is JavaScript or something setting up the environment. And you'll see the different shapes here that you have. This document-like thing, that's called an informational video. That is something like this one, or it could be a lecture or a presentation, and that's a video where you can just sit back and relax and learn. Whereas these are coding videos, and they will be like here, where I show some code on the screen and explain what it does. Usually they're kind of short. This is one of the longer ones at 12 minutes, but others are just say 2 minutes long or so. And then we have the rectangles here. They are exercises and they are text assignments that you should do. Where you can download some files and there are some instructions for doing them. And then we have way down here at the bottom, see, lots of stuff going on. Then we have at the end here, we have a milestone that kind of finishes your path, and now you have learned something important and should take a break before continuing with the next thing. And these 4 different kinds of activities, they also suggest the pedagogical approach in this course. There will be some lectures that gives the theoretical background, but you'll see there's quite a few of them. There's actually only 3 here, and they are quite short. And one of them is this. And that's just for information. And then you have 3 different kinds of work that you should do. The coding videos here are intended for you to sit and code along with. And when I do something on the screen, then you will do the same. And these are just practice, say, getting new stuff in, getting your fingers dirty with the code, so to say. And all of them are really, really basic and teaches you just one basic skill. That's why we call it Skill Tracker. Every time you complete one, you have completed a skill. And then the exercises, they are the next level that you should do. Here you can always see that we have all the skills that are kind of atoms here that then combine into an exercise molecule. And here we have more skill atoms combining into an exercise molecule. And here that almost looks like a molecule of atoms that combines into. So every exercise combines all the previous lessons, we can call them, these short videos, with something new where I have to learn. And every exercise is where you build a bit of a game. That's the coin clicker game that you might have seen sketched before. And you'll gradually build this coin clicker game along with me during this course. And the reason for doing this game And the reason for doing exercises with this game is that then we have a very tiny, very controlled, very fixed environment where we know everything that's going to happen and everybody is going to have the same problems and the same solutions and can help each other out. And then once you go to the third level, then you go to your own at the end of the milestone, after having completed the exercises and the lessons and tried everything out in a safe, controlled environment. Then you're let loose into the wild and work with your own code where anything can happen and everything will. So remember these 3-4 steps: the theory at the bottom, then the lessons that fill them up, then the exercises that where you try to think a bit for yourself, and then finally the milestones where you're building something that is your own product. As you see, the progress, especially in the beginning, is fairly straightforward. And if I just fast forward a bit to when I've done some of the activities, you'll see how it looks then. And now we're here in the future. And you can see I've done all the lessons, but I actually skipped the exercise because I was feeling kind of lazy and just skipped directly to the next lesson. And I can see I can even skip over the next exercise again and go directly here, but then I can't go any further. And the reason I can't do this exercise here, that's grayed out, and I can actually see what's going on. If I look here in the bottom, I can see that my exercise requires me to have the skill called functions and this other skill called coin clicker start, and that one I don't have. You can see it's flashing. It also says you do not have the required skills to complete this activity. And functions is that one I have. This one would unlock functions, and it has done that because I have watched it and I've done the lesson, so I have this skill. And all these skills that are unlocked, almost most of them, most of these skills, they are keywords that you will about things you need to learn, like functions and class list and query selector. But some of them are also more specialized, like here we can see coin clicker start. That means that you have done the start of the coin clicker exercise. And here you can also see there's some of the skills that I have a tiny plus next to them, and that doesn't mean that it's a different skill, but it just gives you more experience point in that skill. And you can always go here to my skills and see all the skills that you have. You have functions, and you can see you have more experience in that. And also this intro video, apparently I have more experience with than others. That's nice. Getting a good start is always good. Here are some of the skills that are still locked that I don't have yet. You can also follow your progress here on my progress, and you can see it's fairly linear here at the beginning, and I skipped this exercise directly to the next one. But this is just the main track. There's also this other track that I call the bug bashing track that says, why won't my class work, for instance? And that would give you a short video on how you could fix problems with adding classes to elements. And we have other videos here. You can see this one, for instance. It also says it's from outside, but we can still watch it. And let's say that we have, then we get the bug basher. And this one doesn't unlock anything else. It just gives us more skill. It gives us the bug basher skill and the ESLint skill. And all of these bug bashing, all of them would add experience points to our bug bash. And we can also see here in the progress that everything that we need to do up to the milestone is there, and this one is beyond the milestone, so it's not required, but it will help us when we get along to it. And when you get a bit further, for instance here, when you do the events, you see that unlocks events, click events, and add event listener. And when we have done that, then it suddenly opens up a lot, and now you can decide for yourself, do I want to do that or that or that, or do I just go directly to introducing state machine diagrams? Or maybe should I remove something? What does this one require? This requires me to it requires me to know about removing. Oops, there was an error here. I'll fix that. So if I also go here and I watch the video, all 3 minutes of it, and then that should unlock remove event listener. So this should become available just as soon as I say here. Yes, and it is. And then as I go further on and further on, I unlock stuff, and I don't have to do everything to get to the milestone. Some of them are optional. So the main purpose of the skill tracker is to help you keep track of your skills and your progress, and help you suggest what you should do next. And here in the beginning, it'll just be extremely simple stuff. But once we get further on, you might get even more selections than just this. That way you can branch out in something completely different than the person sitting next to you. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it.